Today we're going to keep this short and sweet. I was never planning on releasing this drawing. I consider this drawing to actually be a bit of a failure. A lot of people seem to like the other drawing that I considered a failure, so I just decided to get this one out there, put it into the wild, see what y'all think. Sometimes as an artist you overthink things. You want your best work to be shown, you want to put your best foot forward. It's really not that serious. That's part of why I'm making these in the first place, to just be in the pattern, be in the habit of regularly making art, regularly making videos, regularly releasing these out into the wild. And this drawing today is wild. I'm starting on a navy blue paper, which is very dark. Even though it's daytime, this drawing is going to look like a dark night scene straight off rip. I'm at a willow tree lily pond. I was using the black brush pen to come in here and map everything out. The black on the navy blue is very dark and you can hardly see it. There's a path, a walkway that I'll ride my bike and walk around this pond, but more specifically surrounded by willow trees. And I love willow trees. They always make me think of my mom because she loves willow trees, always points them out whenever we see them. Marking out the trunks of these trees accurately, the real number of how many trees there are around the pond. This is the beginning of the end, and you'll see where I'm going with that shortly. Now that I've got these blocked out, I'm going to bring in the white and start marking these off. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the path around the pond just to differentiate some color, get some good color balance happening in here. Now I'm going to take that white and basically be marking off the directional flow of these leaves and these willow trees. You know, willow trees, they call them weeping willows, to have very long hanging foliage. It's very thick and it's very directional. You know, you can see it flowing in the wind when the wind blows. Now filling out some of what would be the leaves on these trees. This is where everything really went wrong, because I don't really account for any negative space. And so the further I build on top of this is just the further and further down the road we're going with no negative space. This whole center area above these trees just basically gets filled in. What I wish I would have done is eliminate a couple of these trees to give it a little bit cleaner negative space throughout here. Then I don't think I would consider the drawing a failure. I think it would have read a lot better, because right now the way these trees are overlapping, you can't really tell where one tree ends and the next begins. It just seems like one mass of trees around this pond. Today's color palette is white, blue, black, gold, 4 colors. And the gold was what I was really planning on making this image shine. I'm going to start with the gold on the water out here. It was meant to show the glimmer, the reflections of the water. And you can see that, but it feels like a background element more so than a central focal point that the trees are surrounding. It almost doesn't even read as a pond because it's so thick up top, you know. I regularly see cranes over here sitting on fallen tree branches in the water and whatnot. Bringing in the gold on the trees, a lot of directional strokes on the leaves, showing the gravitational pull. Starts to become a bit of a scribble fest. At the same time, the gold is what kind of makes this at least a little bit salvageable. The gold is the reason why I'm willing to release it, because if there was no gold, this image would just be a pure failure. And even though I still consider it a failure, it seems very playful. And the leaves on a willow tree seem like it could be hair. And since we have so much overlapping hair in this image, it seems like this could be just a giant fur ball of some kind, a furry creature balled up in the corner, a fur ball of sorts. If I were to go back in with the black ink, it pretty much wouldn't really flow over top of the gold. So I'm using a black paint marker to come in and add some shadows and some dark areas in here. A little more definition to the trees, a little bit more layering of the leaves. In case you can't see by this point, this drawing has pretty much just become a thick, overgrown scribble fest. The more that I add on, I'm really overworking this piece. Straight from the point that I added and marked out the tree trunks, I pretty much planned for no negative space in here. And I drew this much earlier this summer and I'm not releasing it until now. Guess I just decided to help others learn from my mistakes. Help myself learn from my mistakes. I don't have as many messed up drawings as you would think. This is only my second one since I started this whole series. But yes, I would consider this drawing to be a thick, overgrown scribble fest. Very minimal negative space. Basically, a shiny gold mess. I wore my gold hat today in honor of this drawing. The hat is very clean. The drawing is a mess. I'm OJ, Juice Loops Live. I'm going to see you next week. Thank you. Bye.